We're back for another episode of the Pelican Softball Report. It is our 2026 high school softball preview, and we're delighted to be joined by one of those that's going to make a deep run once again, and that's head coach Brad Woodard of the Tioga Lady Indians. Coach, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Look, tremendous season that you had last year. Had the one playoff victory against Turlings Catholic in there, and I don't think your final game of the season went like you wanted it to. But let's recap probably the end of last season, then we'll jump right ahead into our preview for this year.
Yeah, definitely. John Curtis didn't end the way we wanted it to end last year. They had a very good team, and they went all the way to the state championship game. But we grew at the end of the year. Our pitching is kind of what was kind of behind a little bit last year, but those guys really did a great job. Now, we lost one of our pitchers, Caitlin Roberts, is at LCU playing this year. So Lauren Taylor is back, and then we got a couple other young guys that are going to come in, and we're hoping that they're going to throw the ball well. Fall league, they looked okay, and so that's kind of where we're at. We got everybody back from last year in the quarterfinal team, and we're hoping that we can definitely make another big push towards getting back to Sulphur.
It seems like you folks have been mainstays down there. There's been a year after year that you've made that, and that seems like it's become the expectation. You see a lot of teams that I don't necessarily know are preparing for that, but you guys, you put that on your schedule that, hey, look, if we don't get down there, it's kind of been a disappointment for us.
Yes, sir. That's the goal. That's the goal every year. We talk about it. First of all, try to go win a district championship, and then we want to do well in the playoffs, and then we want to try to make it to Sulphur. And it's really even more, I guess, exciting for us because we're a 4A school, and once we get to the playoffs, we're playing Division I. So we're playing against 5A schools. We're playing, I think we're sitting at about 840, 850 kids, and we play teams with 2,000 students in it and stuff. So. We feel like that we're going out there playing the big dogs as what we kind of talk about it and stuff, and for us to be there, we've got to play at a high level all the time. So that's kind of why we do our schedule the way we do it. And, we try to play those 5A schools, and we try to play as just whoever we can to prepare us for the John Curtis, the St. Thomas Moores, and, all those teams that's always down there.
I looked at your schedule and was going through it and there's a difference between shying away from it and doing what you guys are doing. You in the season with Quitman and North DeSoto, which are two powerhouses on there too. So if anybody's getting ready for the playoffs, it's you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're since we've been here at Tioga, we decided that if we're going to make it down to the Sulphur, we're going to do that type of stuff. We're going to have to play these teams around that are great. We got Menard on the schedule. We got Buckeye twice. Grant, West Washita, Neville. I think Bruisley, St. Joseph Academy out of Baton Rouge is coming to our tournament. So we're going to play some of the top competition in the state to get ready. That's the only way we can compete against these 5A schools. So that's kind of why we do our schedule the way we do it.
Yeah, those are, defending state champions that you have. And you talk about Menard, that's a state champion that's on there too. And so you surround yourself with that type of an element, but it's not just during the season for you guys, because and look at the graphic that you guys are in the weight room. You're doing a lot of things that just keep you going throughout the year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's we have to work hard and stuff. We'll be back in the weight room in the morning and stuff, and we'll continue to just work hard and do the things, and it ain't all about Coach Woodard. I mean, I try to go steal all the ideas I can. I'm friends with a lot of great coaches out there and stuff. And,
right.
And I call them and ask them, hey, what are we doing? What can we do to make our kids better and stuff? And that's kind of what we do. We get in there and we work hard, and that's the only way we can compete. Sometimes we might not be the most talented team on the field, but when they walk off the field, they're going to know who Tioga softball is. And that's our goal, that we want people to know who we are around the state.
Look, I think it's not a secret, the kind of talent and the kind of team that Tioga puts out year in and year out, and it's attributed to that success and that work ethic on there and you getting them prepared for it. One of the things that y'all do, and a lot of teams are starting to do it, but it's rewarding these girls after the games, like with the number and for the win. Tell me a little bit about that and what goes into your post game that you have.
like I said, we don't mind stealing things from other teams and stuff. Our baseball team did this, Coach Dave Montiel, and it's a number. So whatever game it is, so if we win that ball game, we call it the win number and stuff. And whoever, it doesn't necessarily mean somebody goes 3 for 3 or somebody goes out and throws a no hitter. It's what play. It could be just a play during the ball game that helped us achieve what we wanted to achieve and win the ball game and stuff or whatever. So we started the numbers a few years ago. We're going to surprise the kids. We're going to do something a little different this year. We're going to do things during the ball game. A big hit, a big play, something like that. Things that they can get excited about and want to. And these guys want to get that number. They want to get these things and stuff or whatever because it's a lot of pride involved in it.
The team outside the team is what I think is impressive as well. I saw some social media stuff that you guys had. They were getting presents and doing some Christmas shopping and things for the younger players, the younger kids as well. And tell me a little about that.
We've done that. Well, I've been here. This is my 11th year, so I think 9 out of the 11 we have went to our elementary schools, and we have some kids, unfortunately, that might not get a good Christmas.
Right.
So all of our organizations, a lot of our teams and stuff here at Tioga, we take our money that we raise, that we earn, and we go out and we buy gifts for presents and stuff, and about 5 years ago, we started doing it as a team. If they can make it, they go in and they go shop, and we got 5 or 6 kids that we buy for. And of course, they got a list, and we try to get majority of the things on that list for those guys, bicycles or baby dolls, or, of course, our girls like to pick girls. So we normally get the girls, and we deliver them to the school, and the way those guys have a good Christmas also. So it's a kind of a cute community service thing that we do, and our kids love it. They love doing it, and they feel prideful. They wrap the gifts. We put bikes together this year and stuff, and so they go out and do it on their own. That's something that they want to do, and we have some parents that help with it, and they love it, and like I said, we're going to continue to do it.
How does that team bonding spill over to the chemistry that the team has when they're between the white lines?
You always hope it does. You always hope that anything that you do outside of school and stuff, our guys can get along, because that's the teams that get along. The teams that bond is the teams that
Right.
win. You can be as talented as you can, but if they don't like each other, don't like competing with each other, you're not going to get very far. And we've had that, and and we try to do it to where these guys enjoy being around each other. We haven't had a whole lot of issues to this point, and we're continuing to hope that happens and stuff, but like I said, our kids seem like they get along well, because they're here every day. They're working together every day. They have to, and we always tell them it ain't just 9 players. We've had since I've been here, we've played probably every ball game, and up to 15 or 16 kids in a ball game, whether it's running bases, whether it's coming in pinch running, pinch hitting, pitching, coming in, changing off the bench, moving positions, or whatever it might be. So we tell them to be prepared. You never know when your number is going to be called. So you gotta love each other, and you gotta bond with each other. And you gotta have respect for each other.
Look, and it seems that there's no ego on those teams either. It just that everybody knows what their role is. And you had, what was it, Roberts, that would come out of right field to come in and pitch some too, or you would bring, maybe I'm the wrong name, but you had a flow, and they seemed to really grasp it.
Yeah, we start in the summertime. So, we have a summer league that we play in, and then our kids play in a fall league. And so we try things, and that's what I tell them. We're going to do things in the summer, do things in the fall to prepare us for the spring semester when we're ready to play our games and stuff. So these guys know that they might start at shortstop, might be in right field to end the ball game, or might be pitching to start the game, and they might go to second base right after that. So they've got to be prepared to play more than one spot. And I think just about everybody on our team that'll be playing and starting for us this year can play multiple positions. And that's awesome for us. Anytime you can get a kid that can play more than one spot, that's great for us. But we prepare for it. We work on it. We put them in different spots in practice and stuff to get them reps. Because like I tell them, I said, if I put you out in a spot we hadn't practiced, it's my fault if you don't do the things that you need to do. So we're gonna try to do every scenario we can and get those kids prepared.
What does it mean when some of the alumni come back in there? We saw a picture of Zoe that had come back and visited. You've got two or three of them that are off in college right now. What does it mean to have them back on campus to encourage those young ladies? Some of them they played with, some of them they haven't. But you're seeing young ladies that are playing at that next level come back and share with the program.
It's awesome, and we're open arms. We tell them to come back. We want them to come back. We've had Kyra Williams, that went play down at Southern. She's student teaching right now. I don't think she's going to play this year, but she's student teaching, and she comes back, and Zoe's come back, and Abby Truckwill, who's at Southern Miss and stuff. She doesn't get to come to our season, but we got to see her during football season. She's come by and visit and stuff, and then former players that I coached at other schools come back and visit and stuff. And a lot of times I let those guys talk. I let them talk to our players and stuff and kind of tell them what's going on in college, if they're playing college ball, or what they did when they were in high school, what they would change in high school, if they could go back and do it again. So we're open arms. If you want to come back, you play for us, come back. We love it. We love to see those guys, and, we want them to continue to be a part of our program.
Is there one piece of advice from those ladies that resonates about what they would change when they were here in high school?
I think the main thing that I hear these guys coming back is they're getting taught correctly. Things that we're doing here at Tioga, it goes into it goes into the college level. I'm not saying that we know everything, because we don't. We try to learn every day and stuff. But when I don't want them to come back and say we're the greatest coaches and we're all this. I want them to say, you taught me something and it helped me when I got to college. I already knew what I was doing because of the things that we went and we worked on and stuff. And to me, that's the greatest compliment you can get. It's like I said, college has way more time to practice them, way more time with them, as how things are set up. But I love it when they come back and they tell me, Coach, man, you got me prepared. I'm prepared for what I saw. And even though it may be a little bit harder, I was prepared for it. So that part of it's awesome. And they can tell those kids that they can give them advice and stuff, and hey, you're being taught the right thing. Continue to do it. It's going to get better.
Look, I absolutely love that. All right, let's dig down deep here and give me a name or two that we've not heard about that's under the radar that, hey, better keep an eye on this season.
I don't know if we have kids that's like under the radar. I mean, I think our guys that are coming out, people know. I've got a couple freshmen that I feel like that's going to play a role with us. Maddie Johnson would be one. Ainsley Brasher would be one. Of course, nobody knows those guys and stuff. Got some other freshmen I feel like can maybe come in and step up. But I really feel like that our team, what we've got coming back off the field and stuff, it's not a secret. I think people are going to know who we are and stuff, whatever. But I really think that I've got some guys that are going to step up. We lost our starting catcher from last year. She tore her ACL right before Christmas, so there's some adjustments and stuff that we're going to have to make there. But I've got a couple guys there that I feel very comfortable that can go back behind the plate. We're going to have to rearrange some things. So I feel like Bailey Middleton's going to have a great year. Aniston Nichols is another one that plays third base. She started last year. She's looked way better in the fall, as far as fielding the ball, and she's going to be, I think, one of our better hitters. So we've got some guys out there that I feel like is going to compete. Conley Hanley, senior, been out in center field 4 years for us. Hopefully she's going to have a great year at the bat. So, but I just, I feel like our guys are just, everybody knows them. I mean, we play and they kind of know who they are, and like I said, I hope some of these young guys can step in and step up and do some things too.
Coach, you talk about Hanley out in center field, and it seems like she has been there forever. But that's somebody that the ball's hit out into the gaps, out in center field, you feel pretty confident out there.
Yeah, she can go get them. And, we have Abby Jones, too, that started. She was a freshman last year for us. She played left field for us, and she's unreal how fast she is. She can go get balls and stuff. And both of them, those two being in left field and center field, I mean, there's not much that drops out there. And those two guys have probably the best arms out there, and then, of course, it kind of depends on what we do catching wise and stuff. But I've got Megan Brown has kind of been out in right field. She was our catcher
Right.
when we in 23 when we got beat in the state championship game. So she can also go back behind the plate if we need her to. But I mean, she has really come along in right field. Trinity Morrow, who we kind of got catching right now. I know she can do it, and so if she goes back and has a great year behind the plate, we can kind of leave. So that gives us three really fast outfielders, but they all three got great arms. They can throw it, and they direct traffic out there well. They work together well out there, but having speed out there and having players that can throw the ball, man, that's big for us. And I feel like that we're way stronger this year, with the arms and the depth that we've got out there.
Look, that's so huge because softball is such a fast game.
Yes,
and
sir.
Those outfielders, I've seen them cut off some things that might have gotten to the fence and saved a double to a single, and just it's little things like that that makes a difference.
Yes, sir. It does. It does. You got to have a strong outfield. Everybody talks about the shortstops and and all that and third base and stuff. You got to be good in the infield also, but your outfield has to be strong. And we've had the success that we've had here at Tioga since I've been here. The years that we've been very successful, we've had great outfields. And we want to continue to have that. And like I said, we got everybody back. Everybody that was a starter for us, other than Caitlin Roberts, is back. And of course, Kara Barbe that tore her knee and stuff this right before Christmas break. So we lost two, I guess you'd say, from last year. So everybody's back, but everybody's got experience. Everybody has played. Everybody has been in a varsity game. So they know the expectations and they know what they have to do. So that's big for us going into this year.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you taking your time with us as part of our 2026 softball preview, and look forward to visiting with you a little bit more throughout the season.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all having us, and we thank y'all for what y'all do.
Keep an eye out for more of our 2026 Pelican softball report previews. They're coming your way. Big thanks out to Coach Brad Woodard, the Tioga Lady Indians. Looking forward to a big season from them. We'll see you next time.